Hello and welcome to another episode of It Came From the Page. And today we are going to be looking forward into the future and look at some of my goals for 2025. Now 2024 was a year, and now that year is over, and everyone is glad that it is. So we will never talk about this year ever again. But what we will talk about is the future. Wow! Wow! And that is what we're looking here. I guess you could call these New Year's resolutions, but not really. Because I'm going to do my stupid book covers give you New Year's resolutions gag that I do every year. I only did it once last year, but I'm going to do it again because I thought it was fun and stupid. So first off, of these goals, first off is try to figure out a focus for the channel. So I feel like for a while this channel's vibe has been kind of split between cat content and book content, where there is many people who do not care about the cat content. What's wrong with you? And there's other people who only care about the cat content. You guys are cool. I like you. The two don't always mix together, right? So sometimes my vlogs will do better than my normal videos will be, and that's because there's more cat footage. So I've kind of been trying to figure out, do I want to split the channel maybe, or maybe ditch books altogether and just do a lifestyle channel? It would just depend what people are interested in the future, but I was kind of thinking whether or not I want to kind of split the two parts of the channel up and do one that is just a lifestyle cat stuff and the other that is more focused on reading, and then there are certain things that will obviously kind of pull the two together. But that was kind of something I'm thinking about, just to kind of get a better focus as to where this channel is and what this channel is going to in the future. Who knows if this will happen? Probably not. I don't know if I could keep up with two channels consistently, and it would really kind of depend on how the other channel did, essentially. Thinking about that as an idea, not 100% sold on that. I would be interested to hear from your perspective, someone who actually views these videos. Do you like them mixed, or would you prefer them to be split? Speaking of cats, somebody's meowing. Yes, Limas, welcome. Welcome in. See, sometimes it would be inevitable. Even if I do split off to a lifestyle channel, you'll still see Loomis because he can't stay out of anything. That's his job. That's his life. He is a little turd. But yeah, so if you're a person who views this channel pretty regularly, I would love to see what you think. Are you here for the books? Are you here for the cats? Are you here for both? Or do you think they should maybe be split up a little bit more? So yeah, that's just kind of one of the main goals, to try to figure out a focus on the channel a little bit. To get views a little bit more consistent. That's always been my issue, is that views go up and down and up and down and up and down, and they never are consistent. So trying to get a consistent audience. And with that is my number 2 goal, which is, of course, this is for the book side of things more than the cat side of things. I don't need to research anymore about those little buggers. But put more of a consistent effort in. Now this is hard because I find always the videos I try the hardest on are the videos that do the worst. Anytime I put actual effort in a video, it tanks so hard. And then if I do a video that I did no thought into whatsoever, and it was just and just could be 2 hours of weird noises, and then that would get a bajillion views, and you'll be like, well, why do I try and do anything ever? And it gets disheartening. But I do want to try to do a bit more of an effort consistently, whether that's at least one video a month where I put extra effort in to make it a super special video. Now, of course, that also involves trying to get better with my editing. I just... it's not that I don't want to. It's there are people with way, way better editing than I do, and they do that better editing consistently. And I'm I could do that, but I'm also would that change anything for the people who are coming into the channel? So I don't know. If you want me to be more fancy with my editing, I would love to hear your opinions on that. But yeah, just put a little bit more effort into at least one video a month. Even if it tanks, I'm at least putting my heart and soul out there. Blah. Next up is to participate more in BookTube. I did not participate in BookTube like barely at all in 2024. Like I did stuff with some like Patreon stuff with Kelsey and Kitty, but and then I also did a lot of Kelsey's events. But I did Garbagus, but like I wasn't even an official co-host of Garbagus this year. So I kind of like retreated from doing more BookTube as a whole kind of thing, and was just kind of be like, well, I like these people, so I'm only going to talk to these people. And as such, I didn't make any new enemies this year. Honestly, impressive. Well, I mean, that guy annoys me, but he's not a booktuber, so it's fine. So I didn't make any official new booktube enemies. But other than that, I didn't grow much at all either. I don't think I have any new actual friends that I didn't have at the start of last year. So, maybe I should try to sneak into booktube again a little bit more. Like, I'm not talking like a lot, but like a little bit. Put a little bit more of myself out there and actually do the more community aspects of booktube again. This one will be a struggle. I don't know if I will. But one of the things that I do want to talk about, because I'm talking about doing more of things in booktube, is I definitely do want to participate in Kitty's Kindle Challenge, which is, the board is here. And this is just kind of a fun, low-key reading event that I think would be good to step into a more community atmosphere, because she's running that on her public Discord, and I think that, that would be a good way to be like, hello, humans that don't suck. I also read these things. Let's discuss about it. So that might be my first step in, I don't know, trying not to be as insular. I really doubt this goal is going to happen, but that's what goals are. They're dreams. They're dreams. You should always be dreaming, even if you know you ain't gonna do them. Number 4, this is another one where I'm like, this is more aspirational than it is logical, which is I want to read what I buy within 4 months of buying them, and to just be better about how I spend my money with purchases. Now, this will not fall into big hauls. Obviously, that'll be unrealistic if I'm bringing 30 books into the library. I doubt that's going to happen that much this year, just because I've actually completed most of the big series that I've been hunting. So a lot of my hauls, if they do happen, will be a little bit more natural happening. And I'm sure I will get some good finds. I always seem to get some good finds, but this will especially be for new books. If I'm going to buy a new book, I need to read that within 4 months of buying it. Now, of course, this is mainly going to be Warhammer books, because that's what I keep up with to buy the most, because I like to own the hardcovers, because the hardcovers are impossible to find after they go away. So, just anything I buy in that regard is to read within 4 months of purchasing. I find that things like read what you own challenges, I don't think they actually help people that much, because I kind of feel like it's like a diet. You're dieting instead of changing what you eat. It's I almost think about it that way, is you need to change your relationship with how you purchase and read and consume material. I don't know if for a few months a year not participating in buying, and then as soon as that ends, buying a bunch, and then going back into the it's like binging and purging. That's kind of what it seems like with a lot of people with the read what your own challenge. They'll do it and then they'll buy too much and then they'll do it again, where I'm like, well, really the problem is at the surface, that you need to change your habits with reading and how you purchase things in a way that's not easy. It's not easy. So you gotta actually do that, and then you won't have to do read what your own challenges, because you won't be constantly getting everything in. So I don't know. Change your lifestyle. That is more long term. Number 5. This was one of my things last year, but I didn't do it. But okay, whatever. It's coming back. That is review old RPG gaming systems and actually run a few of them. I find a whole bunch of old RPG books all the time, in in out in the wild, and I find out they exist like online and stuff like that, and you can find them on archive.org and all these things. And like I love to go back and read these old systems and then actually run the games. I have not run a game of any RPG in a few years. It used to be something I did fairly often when I was really kind of getting into it, but I have not been doing that much. So I would love to do one of those. Whether I actually do it, I don't know. But they're fun to, go through and read those. I would especially love to just review some of these systems, even if I don't get to play them. So that goes along with one of my next ones, which is to write more. A lot of times if you're role-playing, if you're a dungeon master, not that kind of dungeon, you write a lot. It's like very much focused on writing, and I find that I do enjoy writing. So I've done a short story for Garbology this year, and then I did submit a story for Trash Tales. I might not get in, who knows. But even if I don't get in with that story, I still find the idea of actually making a more consistent effort to write more, whether that's short fiction, whether that's a longer fiction, maybe a novella in the future, we will see. But I do just in general think that writing a little bit more would be handy. Make like a little schedule out of it. I find that me doing things for me is something that I'm always very bad at. But if I'm doing something for others, it's like better. Like I need someone to impose a timeline on me, and then I'll stop procrastinating and actually do it. That's what it's come through with like those short story anthologies where it's like you have to submit by this date. So I'm like, I need to do it, and then one day I just do it and I submit it. Always end up doing it early, and then I feel good afterwards because it's fun to be creative and write. So I should write more. Number 7 is branch out what I read. I want to try out some epic fantasy. Pray for me. I don't think I will like it. I want to try out Brandon Sanderson. I know I'm not going to like Brandon Sanderson. I hear... everything I hear about Brandon Sanderson, every time a human has described a Brandon Sanderson book to me, I'm bored. Sorry, Mike. I'm bored. It is not anything that's ever grabbed me. Because, like, every time people talk about the intense magic systems, and I'm like, I don't care. Magic isn't real. I want characters. And then people say that the characters are really good, but then they don't describe anything about the characters. They just describe the magic for, like, 2 years. It feels like 2 years. I'm like, oh, stop explaining magic systems. I want to just experience it. I also don't tend to like epic fantasy because I don't like stories where the world revolves around the main character. I really prefer characters existing in a world that exists without them. So that's why I like things like reading Dungeons & Dragons books, reading some cozy fantasy like Legends and Lattes, Rival Most Vile. The world does not revolve around these characters. They are just characters who are in this world. And, that's the things that I like to read because, like, let's be real, most of us are not going to, kill the Dark Lord and, save the world. That's not going to happen for most of us. Most of us are just people existing in the world trying to find some semblance of, acceptance in the world at large. And I find those more personal stories that are more about people existing in a world that revolves without them to be way more interesting than I do big epic fantasies. But I do want to try, Brandon Sanderson. I also want to try Fourth Wing. I know Fourth Wing is more romantasy, so that's why I'm gonna be kind of more into that one. I do always get I guess I'm scared of Fourth Wing. I have got Fourth Wing from the library 5 or 6 times, and every time I'm like, I'm gonna read it, and then I do not read it. So will I actually read it? Who knows? But if I do, and I don't like it, I will never tell you, because I have friends that I do not ever want them to know that I do not like Fourth Wing, or they will feed me to a dragon. So if I like it, you'll hear about it. If I don't, well, this goal never existed. 8 is to run a few reading events. This February coming up, I want to do Rewind February, which is actually more focused on going back to old TBRs and completing things that you haven't read. from those TBRs, like things that you put on hold, or you get from the library, or you grab from your bookshelf, and you're like, every year I say I'm going to read this, and then when it gets to the month that is perfect for this, I always leave it off. And this is a month where you kind of like, because it's the shortest month of the year, so you can just collate and revisit all of the things that you didn't get to in past years, past months. Also, part of the rewind is to reread some favorites, you know, dive a little bit more into maybe a short story collection that you got a little bit into but you never finished, books that you soft DNF'd, things like that. A very, very cozy reading event that's focused on, you know, improving, you know, your enjoyment of these things that you wanted to do but you keep putting off. So it's like kind of like anti-procrastination. Next up is actually run Novelization November. Next up, keep up with movies more. Number 9, keep up with movies more. I just need to keep up with movies a little bit more. I've done okay this year, but like I don't get to as many like indie movies as I used to, because I used to be like a big time movie head, and I used to have I have very pretentious tastes. I have this outward I'm like Oscar the Grouch, where I'm like, yes, I love the trash, which I do. Of course, I love trash more than anything else. But I do also, in the trash bin, you find out that, you know, there's some like gourmet dinners someone threw out and didn't eat, and I was like, so like, you know, I know what good entertainment is, but you know, I don't consume it as much lately, so I want to do that. And then last but certainly not least is something that I've been working on maintaining, which is just keeping up with arcs. If I get an arc from a NetGalley, I need to keep the fuck up with them. So yeah, that are my goals. What are your goals? And let me know which one you think I'm most likely to fail in the comments below. Thank you and have a good day. Goodbye.